Alright, imagine this, you and I are planning a trip, scrolling through maps, looking for cool islands, and then we accidentally find these 13. And suddenly the vibe shifts from vacation to, yeah, maybe let's not go there. Let's start with Poveglia, Italy. This place looks like your typical abandoned island near Venice. Crumbling buildings, overgrown greenery, nothing too crazy at first glance. But the history, that's where it gets dark. During outbreaks of the plague in the 14th century, Poveglia became a quarantine zone. Ships arriving in Venice with infected passengers were sent here, and quarantine back then didn't mean treatment, it meant isolation and often death. Thousands of people were brought to this island and many never left. Some records and legends even claim that bodies were burned in mass pits. Locals said the soil itself is partly made of human ash. Yeah, not exactly the kind of place you wanted to walk barefoot. Then, as if that wasn't enough, in the early 20th century, a psychiatric hospital was built on the island. According to stories, a doctor there became obsessed with the idea that the island was haunted by the spirits of plague victims. Supposedly, he went insane and threw himself from the tower. Officially, no clear record. Unofficially, people who've tried to visit say they hear voices, screams and feel like they're not alone. Even today Poveglia is closed to visitors, fishermen avoid it, and locals in Venice, they'll straight up tell you, don't go there. Now let's jump to something even stranger, Isla de las Muñecas, the island of the dolls in Mexico. Picture this, a small island in the canals of Xochimilco, covered not with trees or flowers, but with hundreds of old, decaying dolls, hanging from branches, nailed to walls, missing eyes, limbs, faces, some of them just staring at you. The story starts with a man named Don Julian Santana who lived there alone. One day he claimed he found the body of a little girl who had drowned near the island. Soon after he said he began to feel her spirit, watching him, following him. To calm her, he started collecting dolls and hanging them around the island as offerings. But it didn't stop. He kept adding more and more dolls over the years. Visitors said he became increasingly paranoid, convinced the spirit was real. And here's the creepiest part. Years later, Don Julian himself was found drowned in the exact same spot where he said the girl had died. Today, the island is technically a tourist attraction. You can visit it, but people who go there often say the dolls move, whisper or follow you with their eyes. Maybe it's just the wind, or maybe not. Unlike the other two, this island isn't abandoned or haunted, it's very much alive. And that's exactly the problem. North Sentinel Island is home to Sentinelis, one of the last uncontacted tribes on Earth. They've lived there for thousands of years, completely isolated from the modern world, and they want to keep it that way. Every attempt to approach the island has been met with hostility, arrows, spears. No warning, no negotiation. In 2018, a man tried to land there to make contact, and he was killed almost immediately. The Indian government has made it illegal to go within several kilometers of the island, not just to protect outsiders, but to protect the tribe as well. Even a simple illness from the outside could wipe them out. So this isn't horror in the usual sense. There are no ghosts, no creepy dolls, just a place where you are absolutely not welcome, and where the rules of civilization simply don't apply. And honestly, that might be the scariest thing of all. Hashima Island, also known as Battleship Island. From a distance, this place looked like a floating block of concrete in the ocean. No trees, no color, just grey walls stacked on top of each other. And at one point it was actually one of the most densely populated places on Earth. Hashima was a coal mining island owned by Mitsubishi. During its peak in the 1950s, thousands of people lived there, packed into tiny apartments. Life was intense, crowded, loud, industrial, but it was alive. Then comes the darker part. During World War II, forced laborers, mostly Koreans and Chinese, were brought here and made to work in brutal conditions, underground mines, extreme heat, almost no escape. Many didn't survive. When coal lost its value in the 1970s, the island was suddenly abandoned completely. People left almost overnight, leaving behind furniture, toys, entire lives frozen in place. Today it's a ghost city, wind moving through broken windows, empty stairwells, collapsing buildings. You can visit parts of it now, but even then it feels like time just stopped, like everyone disappeared mid-sentence. Now let's go somewhere even more intense, Ramree Island. This island doesn't look scary at first, it's just mangroves, swamps, tropical heat. But what happened here in 1945 is often called the deadliest animal attack in human history. During World War II, Japanese soldiers retreated into the mangrove swamps on Ramree Island to escape British forces. Sounds like a smart move, right? Except those swamps were filled with saltwater crocodiles, and not just a few. This area is one of their natural habitats. According to reports, hundreds of soldiers entered the swamp and almost none came out. Witnesses described hearing screams throughout the night, splashing chaos in the dark. But morning, the swamp was silent. Official numbers are debated, but the event even made it into the Guinness Book of Records as the largest crocodile attack ever recorded. And the terrifying part, those swamps are still there, still full of crocodiles. Nature didn't change, it's just waiting. One of the most infamous places on the planet, Ilha da Queimada Grande. This island is so dangerous that the Brazilian government made it illegal for people to visit, and for once, that's not an exaggeration. It's estimated that there are thousands of snakes on this island. Some reports say up to one snake per square meter in certain areas. Let that sink in for a second. But it's not just the number, it's the type. The island is home to the golden lancehead viper, one of the most venomous snakes in the world. Its venom is so strong it can literally melt human tissue. The reason there are all the here goes back thousands of years. Rising sea levels isolated the island, trapping the snakes with limited food sources. So they evolved, faster, more aggressive, more venomous. There's even a story about a lighthouse keeper and his family who lived on the island. Supposedly, snakes got into the house through windows and none of them survived. Whether it's fully true or not, it tells you how people see that place. Today, only scientists are allowed there, and even they go with extreme caution. So yeah, no ghosts this time, just abandoned cities, deadly swamps, and an island where the ground itself is alive. Honestly, I'm not sure which is worse. This is officially the most remote island on Earth. Seriously, if you look at the map, it's just a tiny speck in the South Atlantic Ocean, thousands of kilometers away from anything resembling civilization. No cities, no neighbors, nothing. It's covered in ice, surrounded by rough seas, and almost impossible to land on, which is why what happened there is so strange. In the 1916, an expedition reached Poveglia Island and found something completely unexpected, an abandoned lifeboat sitting in a lagoon. No people, no bodies, no signs of struggle, just a boat, like someone had arrived or tried to leave and vanished. And here's the weird part. There are no records of any shipwrecks in that area at the time, no missing crews officially connected to it. It's like the boat came from nowhere. To this day, no one knows exactly what happened. Maybe it was washed in from far away, maybe there was a rescue attempt gone wrong, or maybe something else entirely. But on an island where almost no one can even land, finding human traces like that feels wrong. Now let's move to a place that's less isolated but way more unsettling in a historical sense, Roanoke Island. Back in the late 1500s, English settlers established a colony of Roanoke Island, off the coast of what is now North Carolina. At first, everything seemed normal, until the governor John White left for England to gather supplies. When he finally returned, the entire colony was gone. Not destroyed, not burned, just empty. Homes were dismantled, not wrecked. There were no bodies, no signs of violence. Just one clue, the word Croatoan, carved into a wooden post. That was the name of a nearby island and a Native American tribe. Some historians believe the settlers may have joined them to survive. Others think something much darker happened, disease, conflict, or even something we still don't fully understand. But here's why it still creeps people out. There was never a confirmed answer, no clear ending, just an entire group of people who disappeared without a trace. This island that was dangerous in a very real, scientific way grew in North Island. During World War II, the British government used this small island off the coast of Scotland for biological weapons testing, specifically anthrax. They wanted to see how effective it would be if used in warfare. So they released spores on the island and observed what happened to animals exposed to it. The results were exactly what you'd expect: extremely deadly and extremely persistent. Anthrax spores can survive in soil for decades, and that's exactly what happened here. The island became so contaminated that it was declared completely off limits. Warning signs were put up, no one was allowed to go near it, and it stayed that way for almost 50 years. Think about that, an entire island unusable just because of something invisible in the ground. It wasn't until the 1980s that a massive decontamination effort was carried out, using chemicals to try and neutralize the spores. Eventually the island was declared safe again, but even now the idea of it lingers. Not ghosts, not legends, just science pushed a little too far. So yeah, these islands don't really on jump scares. It's their uncertainty, the unanswered questions, and the real history behind them that makes them unsettling. Because sometimes the scariest thing isn't what you see, it's what you never find out. Now this one isn't scary in the usual sense, no ghosts, no deadly traps, but it's deeply unsettling in a different way. Socotra looks like it doesn't belong on Earth. The island has been isolated for millions of years, and because of that its plant life evolved in complete isolation. About a third of the species found here exists nowhere else on the planet. The most famous are the dragon's blood trees. These umbrella-shaped trees that looks like giant mushrooms or something from another planet. And when you stand there surrounded by these bizarre shapes, it genuinely feels wrong, like the rules of nature are slightly off. Historically, Socotra was known to ancient traders for its rare resins and medicinal plants. But even today it remains one of the most alien-looking places you can visit. It's not dangerous, but it messes with your perception, like you've stepped into a different world. Now let's move somewhere much more grounded and much more uncomfortable: Morgan Island. This island in South Carolina is home of thousands of rhesus monkeys. Sounds kind of fun at first, right? Like a weird safari experience. Except you can't go there at all. The monkeys were brought here in the 1970s for research purposes. Over time their population grew to several thousand, and now the entire island is basically a controlled habitat. Scientists monitor them, but regular people are strictly banned, because these ain't just cute monkeys. They can be aggressive, unpredictable, and potentially carry diseases. Getting too close is a real risk. So you end up with this strange situation, an entire island full of life, noise, movement, but completely off limits. You can see it from a distance sometimes, but you're not supposed to step foot on it. It's not horror, it's just deeply uneasy, like something is happening there that you're not meant to be part of. Now let's head back to Japan, Miyakijima. This island is beautiful, lush, green, surrounded by ocean, but there's one major problem: an active volcano. In year 1000, Mount Oyama erupted, releasing massive amounts of sulfur dioxide gas into the air. The levels became so dangerous that the entire population had to evacuate. For years, the island was basically uninhabitable. Eventually, people were allowed to return, but with the catch: gas levels can still spike unexpectedly. So residents were told to always be ready with the gas mask. Imagine living your normal life, walking to the store, going to work, but knowing that at any moment alarms could go off and you'd need to put on a mask just to breathe safely. It's not contact panic, but it's always there, in the background. And finally, one more piece of Brazil's nightmare fuel. Yes, again, linked to Ilha da Queimada Grande, but with a different angle. Beyond just the snakes themselves, there's the story of the lighthouse. Back when the island was still actively maintained, a lighthouse keeper and his family lived there, isolated from the mainland. According to local legends, one night snakes managed to get inside the house, through windows, cracks, anywhere they could. The stories say the family tried to escape, but it was too late. Now, to be fair, historians debate how accurate that story is, but the fact that it exists and that people believe it tells you everything about how dangerous this place really is. Today the lighthouse is automated, no one lives there anymore, and honestly, that's probably for the best. So yeah, these last islands ain't all about death or mystery. Some are just off. Biologically, geographically, even psychologically. And sometimes that quiet, subtle wrongness, that's way more unsettling than anything else. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, and see you next video. Bye bye.